Well, hopefully this game shows a lot to the team. One, you kind of know what your lineups need to be. Christian Wood gets 34 minutes tonight. That has to be a season high for him, right? He plays really well. Him and Luka together play really well. Josh Green plays 21 minutes. He was a plus 11. You were much better when he was on the floor, even though he was in foul trouble. So you're starting to see Christian Wood needs to play more. He needs to play alongside Luka. Those two just have a connection. Luka, you saw it, man, in the second half of the game. Luka was cool playing off ball, giving it to Christian Wood when he had a mismatch. The little pick and roll. Luka getting trapped. Christian Wood being wide open under the rim. Luka's going to make that pass every single time. It just works. And hopefully that shows the team, okay, we just need to stop fucking around. And them, like, in the second half of this game, Luka played the whole entire second half. Again, Wood at 34 minutes. So it shows that, you know what? The team knows. Like, deep down, Kid understands. Kid knows, all right, if we want to come back and win this game, this is what we need to do. Like, let's stop fucking around and let's do this. So hopefully we see it moving forward more regularly. Because tonight showed you, man, against legitimate teams, we saw it in the playoffs last year. Dwight Powell can't be out there regularly. You know, you're like guard 3-and-D guys like Reggie and Dorian. We're just getting blown past every single time down the floor. Like, it was tough to watch, man. Another thing, too, hopefully this showed, because this was the Celtics had a 27-point lead at one point in this game. Hopefully this shows the front office, too. You're not in the same category as these guys. I know you made a Western Conference Finals run last year, right? The Celtics got 2 games off the Warriors. You only got 1. Hopefully this shows you, though, like, you're really not in the same ballpark. You're not in the same category as this Celtics team. This Celtics team is the elite of the elite. They are the contenders. You are we need 100 different things to happen for us in order for us to really be in that category. That's where you're at. Hopefully the front office realizes that and realizes, yeah, we got to do something. We got to make a move. I don't know what that is or whatever. Early in this game, first half, I was done. I was so fucking done with this team. They were down by 1 trillion. It just felt so terrible. I have to give them some props for fighting back in the second half. They cut it down to an 8-point lead, I think, at one point. I got to give them some props there. I really do. They played much harder in the second half. Hopefully they can build on that moving forward. But you never know. I mean, that could just be some random bullshit. I thought Luka was really, really good tonight. I thought he played well. He willed you back into the game. I thought Tatum was fucking amazing tonight. Both of those guys, obviously, 2 of the best players in the league. Probably 1 and 2. Maybe Steph is in there in the MVP talks right now. Obviously, we're like barely a month into the season, so that doesn't really matter at this point. I personally thought Luka outplayed Tatum tonight. I just did. You watch him. This is where you can tell the discrepancy between teams, right? Because Tatum can go out there and he can take 10 minutes off. Like, he can coast on the court for 5 minutes of game time. And it doesn't really matter because the Celtics have so many different guys they can throw at you. Jaylen Brown, and then you have Brogdon off the bench. Like, you have all of these different guys that they can throw at you, that can do things. Marcus Smart can handle the ball. All of this other shit. And Tatum can just kind of, like, you know, chill, and he can make plays off ball. He doesn't have to do all of this. Luka gets the ball, and it has to be everything. Like, he has to initiate everything. He has to create everything for himself. He was hitting tough shot after tough shot tonight. That's just how I feel about it. If we're talking about the MVP stuff, like, it's not a debate to me. I watched tonight's game. I'm like, holy fuck. Like, Luka is by far the most valuable player in the league. Like, and it's not even remotely close. But I don't even want to get into those discussions because, again, I like Tatum a lot. He was amazing tonight. And the Celtics just have an insane team, man. Jaylen Brown was really good tonight, too. Like, they just have an absolute insane team. I think they're the best team in the league. They had the best offseason in the league, I thought, or at least one of them, right? Getting Brogdon for nothing was an amazing move, outside of all the coaching shit and all the drama they had going on. But they're an amazing team. So, you got to give them props for fighting back. This is really, yeah, no Time Lord, too. You got to remember that he's out. You got to, like, this is, I've talked about all year. The Mavericks are now 9-8. In their previous 7 losses, I said, like, none of these losses were good. This one's not necessarily good either because you're getting the shit smacked out of you at one point. But, you know, at least you fought back. And it's clear and obvious you're not in the same category as this team right now. You just aren't. You might be a couple categories below, to be 1,000% honest with you. So we'll see. I know this is going to be a short reaction video. I just don't have much to say, man. They're getting the shit beat out of them. It's clear and obvious, right? Christian Wood needs to start. Or at least, if not start, he needs to play these amount of minutes every single night. Obviously, I don't want Luka playing 40 minutes every single night. That can't happen. But I want these two playing together a lot of the time. Like, that absolutely has to happen if you want to have really any chance this year. And I thought, you know, it's good to see this. It is, because after last game with the Nuggets, when Christian Wood played like 60 minutes, my thought was, dude, just trade him now. Like, it's clear and obvious that the coaching staff doesn't want him here for one reason or another. Just trade Christian Wood now and let's move on with it. But to see him play a lot tonight is a good thing. It is. So, again, a great game from Luka, I thought. Dinwiddie with a separated shoulder. He had some moments where I thought, okay, this guy is soldiering it out. You got to give him credit there. I'm a little bit. There was also moments where he didn't look as aggressive as he usually does. So I'm concerned about that. If his shoulder's really fucked up, I kind of wish he would just, take it easy a little bit, to be honest with you. But, I don't know, because what else are you going to do? Dorian hit some shots in the second half, but it wasn't a good night from him. Wasn't a good night again from Reggie. Was not a good night from Tim Hardaway Jr. at all. I don't know what to do with these guys, man. Dinwiddie was pretty dang good given the circumstances. No, yeah, I agree. I was actually impressed. I was very concerned about him. But, again, there were a couple possessions where it was like, oh, if Dinwiddie was 100%, he would have stepped back for three there, or he would have driven and gotten something at the rim. But there was a couple possessions where he looked a little bit passive, more passive than usual. But all in all, yeah, I think with a separated shoulder, he definitely played well. But, it is what it is. If this game doesn't point out the obvious to the coaching staff, to the front office, then they're fucked. Like, the team is fucked. They're doomed, right? If it's not obvious to the coaching staff now that, all right, Christian Wood's got to get 30-plus minutes a game next to Luka, like, that's our only chance of winning a lot of games, then it's never going to happen. And if this doesn't show the front office, hey, we got to make some moves. Like, we gotta really take a couple steps forward in the next offseason if we really want to be a contender next to Luka. Then we're also fucked. So at least take that to the grave, right? At least we have that.